Afternoon all. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about an important but often ignored topic when it comes to resin bolting, and that is the effects of temperature on resin capsules' shelf life and set times. I'd like to start by reminding all of what information is shown on a resin label. Firstly, the capsule size, 25 by 400 plus 25 by 400. This is a mixed box. Next, the set times. This particular box contains 60-second A-spec resin and 5 to 10 minute resin. The spin and hold times. These spin and hold times in the case of a mixed box is always for the faster setting capsule in the box. A 60-second capsule has a spin time of 15 seconds and a hold time of 45 seconds. The spin and hold times are always based on 20 degrees Celsius. Next, the batch number. Then the expiry date for this particular box is the 24th of February 2021. Number of capsules in the box. Here we have 14 60-second and 28 5 to 10 minute capsules. And this particular box also contains 42 parachutes. The expiry date shown on the label is the standard shelf life for that particular product added to the manufacture date. Shelf life is reached when the product no longer satisfies normal use requirements of SANS 1534 of 2018. Shelf life is determined for a product stored at 20 degrees Celsius. If the product is stored at temperatures higher than 20 degrees Celsius or in direct sunlight, the shelf life will be reduced. In South Africa, conditions are such that the product is very rarely stored at 20 degrees Celsius and would more likely be stored at temperatures in the region of 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. This does not mean that the product is unusable. However, it does mean that ordering procedures need to be implemented to ensure that stock does not lie around for too long on the mine premises before use. A maximum stock holding of 3 to 4 weeks is recommended. In South Africa, we manufacture water-based resin capsules. Water fillers and other chemicals are used in the manufacturing process for the catalyst side of the capsule. If these capsules are stored at high temperatures and or exposed to direct sunlight, the water starts to evaporate and the viscosity of the catalyst increases to such an extent that these capsules no longer can be mixed. In order to maximize resin shelf life, correct storage is very important. Always store under cover in a cool, dry place, out of direct sunlight. Equally important is to rotate the stock. Make sure you use the first in, first out principle. Don't allow stock to sit at the back of the storage facility and expire. Incorrect storage of resin capsules reduces shelf life. Do not store resin capsules in the open or exposed to direct sunlight and the elements. The example on the right is probably a bit extreme, but it does happen where the resin is just left in the yard. It's not undercover, it's exposed to direct sunlight and the elements, high temperatures. If you choose to store your resin in this manner, you are going to reduce the shelf life. The following graph, taken from a presentation done by O'Connor in 2012, illustrates the effect of temperature on shelf life. If a product with a shelf life of 6 months when stored at 20 degrees Celsius is now stored at 30 degrees Celsius, the shelf life of the same product is reduced from 6 months to 4 months. In concluding this part of the presentation, I'd once again like to highlight the importance of correct storage in prolonging the shelf life of resin capsules. We are now going to look at the effects of temperature on spin and hold times of resin capsules. If one considers a resin capsule with a set or working time of 30 seconds at 20 degrees Celsius, this particular resin capsule will have a spin time of 10 seconds and a hold time of 20 seconds. During the first 22 seconds of this cycle, gelation will take place. Thereafter, the resin will cure and should have set in 30 seconds. The spin time indicated on the label should be adhered to irrespective of what the temperature is. The spin time for mixed boxes, as I mentioned previously, is the spin time for the faster set resin in the mix. The hold time indicated on the label is for resin at 20 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is higher than this, the hold time used can be the same as that indicated. If the temperature is lower than this, the hold time should be adjusted to cater for the slower cure rate of the resin. Roughly, for every degree Celsius below 20, add 2 seconds to the hold time. The following graph illustrates the effects of temperature on resin capsule set times. If, for example, one is using a resin capsule with a set or working time of 30 seconds in an area where the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, one would lose approximately 10 seconds of this working time, and in effect, one would now have a resin capsule with a 20-second set or working time. Very roughly, the set time reduces by 1 to 2 seconds for every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature. It is important to take into account at what temperature a resin capsule will be used. At higher temperatures, use a resin capsule with a set time which will allow the operator enough time to mix the resin and complete the bolt installation. I'd just like to thank you for your time, and are there any questions?